Welcome to another episode of the Floridian Adventure. Today we're doing, what is it again? Airboat rides with Gatorland?
Yep.
Airboat rides in Gatorland. This is going to be amazing. They have a map of every place that anyone has come here to visit from. That is amazing. These are extremely rare albino gators. They're really small, but it's amazing to actually see them. Here are some facts on the albino gators. If I can squeeze it in here, where's Iowa? Closest I can get. Oops, hold on. There we go. Right? Oh, it's so hard to see. There. There's my pin. Right there. I wonder if we'll see one this big. Because that is huge. It's a gator puzzle box. That you can hide stuff in. It's hard to do this with one hand. Right next to a chained gator. How much is that? No, thank you.
You know what these are?
You got any fish? It appears that there are more gator souvenirs than I anticipated here. Magnetic rocks. Can full of gemstones. I keep finding massive gator heads. And all I can say is, I want to get one for a friend of mine, but
I found a mongoose.
they're like 15 bucks a piece. So if I get one of these, I'd be limiting myself on what else I can get. Jurassic Park. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Oh my word, they have a tank too. And it rotates. Motorcycles. Dinky airplanes. I'm guessing an ostrich? I want to say an ostrich and a doggo. Look at the gator. That is an awesome gator. We got wild birds here.
If we hurry, guys, we can make it to the.
Can we just look everywhere?
That show.
Oh, look at that one over there. Oh, that one's really good.
Verb. But tortoises.
No, she just touched the top of the shell.
Closer look at these guys from afar. But you can get pretty close to these little dudes. There's a massive panther. And of course the whole reason we've come to the gator park. Crocodilians.
I think there's just two in
There it is. There's another one.
There's one right there.
They're massive. A Cuban crocodile. Primpin' Primin himself. It's crazy the color. Male gators roar to attract females. How interesting. More fun facts about gators.
Blue-tongued skink. Again, these guys are found in Australia, and the family of lizards under skink is found on many different continents. We have skinks here in Florida as well. Now, the skinks that we have in Florida are the 5-line skinks. They don't get nearly as large as they do out in Australia. But you can see how he gets his name, the blue-tongued skink. When he flicks his tongue, you'll notice the coloration on there. It is blue, and there's a very important purpose for that. So if he feels scared or threatened, if something's trying to eat him or prey on him, what he's going to do is stick his tongue out as far as he possibly can. Now when he fully extends it, he's being a little shy about his tongue. There we go. So he'll flick it real quick there. But once he feels scared or threatened, he'll push it out as far as he can, and that's likely to scare predators in the other direction. A lot of times they see the blue on there, and they associate that with a poisonous animal. A lot of animals in nature that are dangerous to interact with, whether it's poison or venom, they do have a warning signal on them, and sometimes that can be a bright, vibrant color. So that's what he's going for. Now, in reality, he's not poisonous. He's not venomous, he's completely harmless, but he will trick his predators into thinking otherwise by flailing that tongue around. And it will often work. Now, it doesn't work every single time. You may have a particularly hungry animal that hasn't eaten in days. They're thinking, you know what, I don't care if this thing has a blue tongue, I'm going to try to eat him anyway. If that's the case, he's not going to run away. A lot of lizards are very fast on the surface, especially a lot of lizards in the skink family. They're extremely fast and hard to catch. But not this guy right here. The blue-tongued skink is actually very slow, and I'm going to show you his top speed right now. Okay, front row, if he gets away from me, you got to help me grab him, all right? Okay, the top speed of the blue-tongued skink. And there it is. That's about as fast as he moves right there. So you'll notice what he's doing. He's looking for shelter, and that's exactly what he'll do if he comes across danger that he can't scare away. So he won't run away, but he will go underground. They'll stick very close to the entrance of a tunnel or a burrow system. That way, if they do need to go underground to elude a predator, they have that option to them. And while they're underground hiding, they find lots of food for themselves. Worms and bugs, different kinds of insects. They'll eat other lizards and snakes. They'll eat other blue-tongued skinks and be cannibalistic. They do not care. As long as it's got some nutrients, they'll try to eat it. And that way, their population can survive if something does happen to eat them early on.
Oh my word.
Okay, so here we have a Burmese python. This snake is not naturally found in Florida. They're found in Southeast Asia, but they do pop up in our state from time to time. And I'll tell you a little bit about how that can happen. So when they're small like this, a lot of people buy them on impulse. They don't realize really what they're getting into. They don't understand how large and quickly this animal will grow. This is the third largest snake on the planet. Adults getting over 20 feet long. We have some very large ones on the other side of the park that you guys can see today. But when they're small like this, they're inexpensive, they're cool looking. People just buy them without doing their research. And after a few years, the snake is 10, 15 feet long, and they can't take care of it anymore, mostly because of what they're eating. When they're small like this, it's pretty easy. You get a little frozen mouse at the pet store, you thaw it out in warm water, it's very easy and clean. But when they're bigger, that's not the case. You have to get goat, no matter what stories you might hear. They're not a threat to people, but because they're a large snake with a big appetite.
Okay, that ain't cute and fluffy.
Stealthy, Wyatt. That was nice and stealthy. All right, so I kind of lied to you, but not really. His name is Fluffy, so he is fluffy, but some of you may not think he's very cute. So we have an American alligator here. Now, in the early 1900s, American alligators were hunted and poached very heavily. People would kill them for their meat and for their leather, and once their population hit an all-time low, they were put on a protected species list. It became illegal to kill them and mess with them at that point. Now, once this was the case, people had to leave them alone. They had a great recovery in population. Today, there's over 2 million alligators just in Florida, so they're doing a lot better. They go all the way up to the Carolinas, as far west as eastern Texas. So the southeast is pretty much dominated in our wetlands by the American alligator here. And these guys have been around for a very long time, since the age of the dinosaur. His ancestors were literally eating dinosaurs. The only difference with those ancient crocodilians and this alligator today is that he doesn't get 50 feet long, but he has the same exact physical design. If you look at him, he can sink his entire body underwater, but keep his eyes and his nostrils above the surface. So he can completely stay hidden in Florida's murky water, but see and smell above the surface. So if you scare this little guy, if you walk up to him too quickly in the woods, he's going to take a big deep breath with those nostrils. He'll sink underwater and hide from you on a single breath for over an hour at a time. That large lung capacity is very important to them when they're small and vulnerable like this. A lot of them don't survive very long when they're young. They hatch out of the egg at 4 to 5 inches long. You can imagine a little 5-inch lizard running around the swamps of Florida. They don't stand a chance, okay? Everything tries to eat them. Bigger alligators try to eat them, even fire ants, catfish, raccoons, snakes, birds of prey. Everything eats those little guys. 1 out of every 50 will survive to be an adult. The rest get eaten by other animals, okay? But if they survive to the 6-foot mark, they're considered apex predators, where nothing can mess with them at that point besides a much larger alligator or, of course, a human being, because we are always a potential threat. So this guy in the wild, he'll be about 3.5 years old, because they grow about 1 foot every single year. up until that 6 foot mark, then they'll grow very slow. So this guy will be about 3.5 years old, and he will have to leave the nest around this size right here. They can stick around the nest for their mom's protection for the first 3 years of their life. Now, if he does not leave the nest after 3 years old, or about 3 feet long, the mom will just eat them. Yeah, so kids, when you grow up, move out. Your mom's gonna eat you, okay? No, we're just messing with you. Mom's very protective. She'll put her life on the line. She'll chase off bigger animals, even bears, coyotes, and people as well. So when you come across babies or a nest, just keep it moving. Don't try to grab them and take selfies with them or anything, because even if you don't see mom, I promise you she's very close by. And as soon as you scare that little baby alligator, he's going to make a distress call. I'll show you what a scared baby gator sounds like when he's calling his mom for help. You ready? Mama! No, I'm just kidding. It sounds like this. It's a little chirping noise like that. When mom hears that, she's in go mode. She'll literally try to chase you off. Now, usually alligators don't approach or chase people if you're not messing with their babies or doing one other thing. And we'll wrap it up on this note here. That's feeding them in the wild. Never feed alligators. You teach them to approach people for food. That's a very dangerous behavior. Eventually, they're going to approach somebody with kids, pets, or livestock, and a trapper will be called to come kill the alligator on the spot. They lose their life when we feed them, so please never do that, okay? Let's give it up for Fluffy. He did a great job. Very good. So I know some of us wanted to hold and touch Fluffy throughout the show. Now's your chance to do so. If anybody wants to hold it, just like I'm doing right.
So now we get to go on a half-hour boat tour. I'm going to try and catch as much of it as possible. So here we go. An actual peacock. Once again, we're back in here going to fetch some gators. Barb.
Cómelo. Ponla con manita. Mira, mira.
Alright, I'm gonna try gator for the first time. Actual gator.
Like it? Why not?
I ate like a piece like that.
What about you, Bree? You like chicken, man? Try that.
That is extraordinary.
I don't like sauce.
I'm actually gonna try it with this tiger sauce, even though I don't like spicy things.
Oh, is it spicy?
The tiger sauce?
Not as spicy as I thought.
Some on your plate.
Alright, now I'm gonna try turtle.
I didn't get my gumbo.
Turtle's pretty good too.